afternoon, Dakota Ranchers. It's me, Macho Man Randy Savage here to do the Dakota Ranchers Cookbook of the Week. This week's recipe is slow-cooked apple pepper pork chops with garlic roasted goat cheese, mashed potatoes. Oh, that sounds good. All for under $20. You can make this yourself. If you liked the video, we're going to be doing another drawing like we did last week for $20 gift card to make your own of this recipe. Yeah, let me know what you think. Let's get started. Onions. One of the things we're adding to the batch is gonna be onions, because onions are delicious. Not in the recipe, but they're good. Mushrooms, also not in the recipe, but mushrooms are like flavor sponges and they're delicious and good as well. For your mashed potatoes, you want to slice them up. You can use any potato, I don't really care. Potato's a potato. Garlic. What is a meal without some garlic? We're gonna use these in the mashed potatoes and in the pork chops. Green beans. Also not in the recipe. But what's a meal without some greens in it? Snap into a green bean. Yeah. Goat cheese. Never used it before, but it sounds good. Sour cream. Never used it before either, but we're gonna try it out. Sounds delicious. They have buttermilk, but I don't want to use buttermilk because it's 1%. What's the other 99%? Crap. That's what it is. Crap. A thick cut pork chop. You want that bad boy real thick, about 1.5 inches, 1.25 inches. You want to make it look like a steak. This is gonna come out looking like one. This is gonna be delicious. Alright, after you mix together all those tasty ingredients with the sugar and the salt and the pepper and the water, and you heat it up, get it all dissolved, put some ice on it, make it cool down, you're gonna toss your pork chops right on in there. Get all the air out of there so you don't have to worry about anything not getting in contact with your delicious little brine. Leave it in the refrigerator. After you pull them out for about 24 hours, they're going to be covered in sugar, salt water, and a lot of pepper. You want to make sure and clean all that off. Just wash them off, get it all off, because otherwise your stuff is going to be way too salty. Alright, so after you pat it down, your pork chop, get all the moisture off of it. You don't want to season your pork chops when you're putting them in, because there's lots of seasoning in them and lots to come. You're going to brown each side for about 2 minutes. It adds a little bit of flavor, that scorching and burning. It also makes it look good when it comes out of the pot later. Alright, so once your pork chops are done grilling up, then you're going to go ahead and cool them off. Get them ready to throw in the pot with all the deliciousness. Once you get all your pork chops cooked up, then you're going to want to go ahead and start the braising process. What is real important, you don't want to put too much water inside the pot, because then you'll just have soup when it's all over. You want to make sure that you can evaporate most of that water during the braising process. So go and fill it up right to about where they're covered, and then you're going to go ahead and turn it off. I like to go ahead and add a lot of flavor. Start off, it'll cook into nothing but flavor. About 4 heads of garlic. Cloves of garlic, I'm sorry, heads are for later. Whole onion, sweet onion that is. And serrano peppers, about 3 of them to taste. You can put a little bit more in there later. Make sure you get all the seeds, that's where the hotness is. You want to put this on the stove, about boiling heat for about an hour. Make sure and keep an eye on it. After an hour you can trim some of the fat and go ahead and drop it down to about medium to simmer. Alright, if you've never roasted garlic before, it's one way to make one dish pop a lot. what you're gonna do is slice open the garlic on the top like so. So you open up all the cloves right there. You want to be able to see all the exposed cloves. Because whenever you're done with it, you're going to squeeze this thing and all the garlic's going to pop on out. It'll be all delicious and fancy. Once you get that chopped top off, you're going to put it in some aluminum foil and wrap it up like a little surprise. You're going to throw a little salt, a little pepper, some olive oil, put it on top just like that. And make sure you want to put it in a pan like so. That way, if it leaks out, it ain't going nowhere. A little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper. If you're always under salting or over salting things, use kosher salt. It's gritty. Feel how much you're putting in there. Get a little pepper in there. Top her off with some olive oil. Throw them in the oven for about 325, 350 degrees for about 45 minutes till they smell delicious. And then you're rocking and rolling roasted garlic. Okay, so I've added the butter to my mashed potatoes, soon to be. I'm gonna be putting in some sour cream and some goat cheese bit by bit, since I don't really know how much to put in. Never put too much. You can always add more, but you never take it back. Let you know how it goes. Okay, so we got the sour cream and the goat cheese in there. The best way to get the garlic out, put some plastic gloves on so you don't smell like garlic for the next 2 weeks. Make sure the garlic's cool. If you're in a rush, the shit's gonna burn you. Squeeze that garlic and it'll just come popping right on out. Delicious. Some of these will keep the skins on, you might have to pick through them, but for the most part, garlic just comes on out. Voila! Alright, so once everything's done with the pork chops, you can pull them out, set them off to the side, keep them warm, hold that moisture in. You've been braising them so they're nice and moist on the inside. You don't want to lose that. In order to turn all those delicious juices you have that you've cooked on down to a fine, delicious stew, you're going to go ahead and add some cornstarch. What cornstarch does for you, as opposed to a roux, you make cornstarch with a little bit of water. We're going to do about 2 scoops, 2 big healthy scoops. Just a little bit of water. Never want to add too much water. You can always add more. You never take it out. You mix that around. It's almost like concrete. If you let it sit for too long, the cornstarch will settle down to the bottom and you just got to mix it up again. So you want to use as little water as possible. Mix this up. Now this is going to instantaneously create your sauce for your pork chops. Alright, as you can see, I've got mushrooms down in there. I'm going to add some green beans here in a little bit, but that's bubbling real easy like. If I lift my spoon and pour some, it doesn't stick at all. What we're going to do, you got to use cold water with that cornstarch. You want to get your sauce up to a boil, real fast boil. You're going to pour a little bit in and mix as you pour. Mix and pour, mix and pour, mix and pour. A little bit. You don't want to overdo it. As it starts to boil again, it'll get thicker and thicker and thicker and thicker. We're going to keep on at it until it's right. Check back in on when it's done. Okay, so we dropped the green beans into the thickened sauce. Pretty much just waiting for these to cook down. We'll combine them back with the pork chops. The crucial thing with the pork chops is to make sure you don't cook them for too long, or else the pork chop will come right off the bone, and that's not good. You pretty much use any kind of meat with this kind of stew. The beauty of this slow cooking braising process is that it all comes out delicious and tender. It's pretty. You don't need a fork for any of this goodness. Make sure that you don't overcook the green beans, because in your heating up process, as you eat your leftovers, they're gonna keep on cooking. So make sure you don't overcook this or your meat, because you want all that to stay together and not to turn into mush. And when you're all done, you get pork chop plus mashed potatoes. Snap it to a pork chop.